Okay, thank you for letting me know. All right, so going back to the iClicker. It looks like it was approved 100%. There was only 12 centers that interacted with it. So if you didn't interact with it, just make sure that you let me know if you're having any issues. If you think we need to do just by voice, let me know. I'm just trying to do something that's easier for everyone, so I don't have to do roll call. All right, David, you had a question?
Just kind of like for everyone,
Yes.
do we like how I did the minutes? Was it detailed? Was it good? Something you need to
Great,
change?
David. I loved all the very organized, very skilled.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I have I have a comment. When you place important information, can you bold it like dates and things like that?
Uh,
Oh, are you talking about me?
Oh no, I was talking about who took notes.
Oh,
Your
my
guys'
bad.
name.
I'm sorry. I thought you said.
Yeah.
can you say that one more time?
I said my only suggestion is that when it's like important information, like highlight or bold like dates and stuff like that, like so that it's like more out there than instead of blending in. And also, if by chance, can you change it from a red to like a more subtle color? Since people with like me who has glasses, it kind of really hurts to look at.
Of course. I'm doing based on precedent, based on prior administrations. It's always been red. So I can definitely change that, make it more subtle, the color. Um, but yeah, definitely do that.
And Grant, do you have a question?
Well, not really a question, but I see in the chat that Devin wants to be recognized, so I recognize Devin. Or motion to recognize Devin.
I need a second.
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 Who was
Thank
it?
you. It's me, Senator Devin. Um, so I just had a quick question regarding the iClicker thing. I know that it's required for voting records for voting records to be recorded, for lack of a better word. So, are the results from the clicker app going to be recorded by, I don't know if that'd be the secretary or who, for the voting records requirement?
I'm not sure exactly what you mean, like if it's gonna be recorded.
So,
Will he have like access to the votes?
yeah, so specifically, because I saw that there were 12 senators who voted, so I don't know how that's going to play in terms of the voting records, because there's going to be a number of senators who didn't vote. So I'm just saying, because voting records have to be published, I just want to
Yeah.
figure out what's going on with the iClicker thing.
Okay, well, so since there's 15 senators here, I wasn't going to hold up as far as keeping the iClicker just running. I can do something that's more useful for everyone. If it's easier to just do by voice, okay, we can do that. If it's easier to do roll call, then that's just by voice. We'll just do that. If the iClicker is easier, then please make sure that you do interact with it within 30 to 45 seconds. Vote no, yes, and then I'll make sure that David does have this information. I can export it and send it to him, and we'll always make sure that the A, B, and C is always going to be the same. So abstain would be C, nay would be B, and then a yay would be A. But we just need to make sure that senators, when they are interacting with iClicker, that they're making sure that they're sending in their votes. That's all. That I mean, because what we had 14 senators, right, David? That from who are here right now.
That's correct.
Okay, so we're missing 2 votes that were on iClicker. So we need to just make sure that we're interacting with it. And if you aren't, just make sure that you let me know that you didn't get to vote in the iClicker, and then David can just take your vote down if it's okay with the rest of Senate, just by voice. if you didn't interact with it. If you weren't able to get access to the app, if you're having any kind of connection issues, then we'll just do that voice by vote. And also to go ahead and just to ease everyone's mind, I'll keep on playing around because I've been playing around with iClicker. I'll keep on playing around and see if I can actually see who voted. I would assume I can, since I did make the iClicker. I think I just have to do it once the class is closed. That's when I can see exactly everyone, like exactly who did it, because it's not anonymous. It's by, like I can see your name. So I will be able to see at the end, I believe. So, because this is our first time, but for sure, we'll make sure that this information is given to David. Thanks for your question, Devin. Okay, so if there are any more questions about the agenda from last week about the minutes, they were approved 100% with a vote of 12 senators. So moving on to other old business. So some more information came up about our committees from last week. So I was talking to Senate officers. So the issue is that within our Constitution and bylaws, the wording can be misconstrued as far as standing committees. So in the Constitution, it speaks on standing committees, and the Vice President can appoint or can create these committees. But it doesn't say anything in the, I believe, the bylaws under our committees, anything about those standing committees and exactly where's the vote. It's just more of an approval. So I'm bringing these committees to you, and then, you know, if you have any questions, you know, bring your questions. If you don't have any questions, then we'll go ahead and just move forward. So I think it's very important to have committees constituted because just in the future, when we do have any certain situations, you know, I think there are certain committees like your bylaws and constitution committees and probably your student affairs committee that should be always constituted. But there might be some committees like your student wellness committee. I mean, you know, that could be something that you might think isn't something that needs to be constituted. So essentially your ad hoc committees, that is something that us, the Senate, will bring up, and then you all will vote on those. As far as the standing committees, that is what I'm bringing to you all, and then that is what you all will sit on if you are interested in sitting in those seats. So it's kind of confusing when you are reading it, but in the bylaws, it's only strictly talking about the standing committee or about the ad hoc committees. It really doesn't give that much information as far as like if there's a vote on the standing committees. It really just says there's approval, and that's about it. And then I just bring them to the Senate floor. So if you do have any other questions about that, and if you think there are some committees that, you know, if there is a specific standing committee that you would like to see from last year, if you are a previous senator, then please let me know. I know the one committee that came up, Alyssa, was the environmental committee. The one big thing that's my main goal is to make sure that the committees that we have actually have a full, like the focus of those committees are actually being like effective. Like they're actually effectively, you know, implementing something on campus. I'm not sure exactly what the environmental committee did, but I don't want to have any sort of fillers within our student senate. I want to make sure that everything that we do have, that we're representing all populations or all groups on students as best as we can. So let me know, you know, if that is something that, you know, you think is important to have within SGA, and even if we can always bring up those ad hoc committees, because that is something that can be voted on just by you all by a 2/3 vote. But yeah, I just want to let you all just know about that, is that the committees that I did bring up, those are going to be the standing committees that we will have, but we will not we'll talk about sitting on those committees, most likely by retreat time. Since next meeting, we'll probably end up doing voting on, you know, who's going to sit on those committees, and then after that, then we'll start organizing who will be the secretaries, et cetera, within those committees. But let me know if you do have any other questions about that. Okay. All right. So moving forward, so we do have one piece of legislation that I'm going to go ahead and pull up. So this was submitted by Senator Germain. Where in the world did it go? Bro, I promise you I'm not crazy. Okay. Oh. All right, here it is right here. Jermaine, let me know, because I had got messed up in my emails. So I'm pretty for sure this is the correct
This is the final
document.
bill.
This is the final one, right?
This is the
Okay.
This is the final one.
Did you want to read it?
Yes, we can. I can read it. That's fine.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So this is Fall 2020 Bill 1, Article 10, Section 3, Public Information Accessibility. Whereas Article, I believe it's Article 3, Section 2, Subsection A of the SGA bylaw states that the SGA president may recommend students for employment by the SGA in accordance with the SGA Constitution, the SGA bylaws, and the current UNT employment policies. Whereas Article 10, Section 3, Subsection A of the SGA bylaws states that the SGA president shall appoint the duties of maintaining the official SGA website, ensuring the accessibility of relevant public information to the student body, administrators, faculty, and student bodies of other institutions to a single designee or commission of designees. Whereas the UNT DSA, so Department of Student Affairs, oversees the maintenance of the SGA website and will not allow students who are not hired SGA executive officers to access the web editing platform. Let it further be resolved that the following changes be made to the UNT SGA bylaws. So Section 10, Section 3, Public Information Accessibility. The SGA president shall appoint the duties of maintaining the official SGA website and ensuring the accessibility of relevant public information to the student body, administrators, faculty, and student bodies to other institutions to a paid executive officer. Respectfully, myself and Gia White, the SGA Communications Director.
All right.
I move.
Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I move to a period of questioning.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
So can I
Who
go with
seconded
the
that
question?
motion?
So Grant seconded that motion. Go ahead, Alyssa, with the first question.
Let's just say you wanted to do, because I know with the website and everything, with a web designer, and also you kind of need some technical programming skills. Well, as if this person who is a paid executive officer does not know what they need, and they need like a certain design done, and they know somebody that can do it, are we're allowing special circumstances to be in place for for designs and graphics?
Yeah, so for this question, I'm going to yield can somebody recognize Gia for me so that she can answer this question?
I
I can recognize you.
Oh, or Alyssa. And I second that.
Can y'all hear me? Hello, can y'all hear
Yes.
me? Okay, good, perfect. Okay, so to answer your question, basically the web editing platform is accessed through your My UNT account. And so any designs or pictures or anything are not made on that, on that platform. They're made on Canva or Adobe, whatever you wanted to make it. And so I do have people on my comms team helping me to make things like that, but they do not have access to the web editing platform. Only I have access to that. And so that is kind of, I don't know if that was exactly your question, but does that answer it?
Yeah, it sort of answers my question of because if you had those circumstances, you have somebody else editing, making the graphics for you and stuff, are they getting credit for it, or are they inserting it themselves type of situation? But you kind of answer my question, so that, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Melissa, I saw your hand was up and I think I put it down. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna ask if the grammatical errors, if we still approve it now, if he can still go in and make those changes and then it's still good, or if we have to wait until those changes are made.
So
just the first article number and section number, because I believe
this one right here.
Yeah, you can tell. No, the one below it. Yeah, it's where it goes. Whereas Article 3, Section 2, I believe JT said it was a different section when he was reading, or something was different. That I'm not yeah, I'm just not sure.
I don't know if I missaid it. Does that represent 3? That was my problem.
This is in the bylaws, correct? Go ahead. Article 3. Article 1. I'm going so fast. I'm missing my stuff. Article, oh Lord. Okay, there we are. Okay, subsection A, or section, let me go back to the bill. Article 3, section 2, subsection A. Article 3, section 2. Section 2, subsection A. So this is the piece that JT's talking about right now.
Okay.
He's talking about in the whereas clause. This is correct, right, JT?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Okay. So to answer your question, if it was approved, then we would need to go through this process again. So like we would need to make the corrections right now.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Grant, you had a question? You're on mute.
Yeah, okay, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Okay, so I guess my question is for Gia. I'm still just a little bit confused. So the problem that we're having, or the problem that you're having, is that you're the only one able to access this, right? And you're wanting to give access or permission to your committee or your helpers, correct?
Am I allowed to speak? I'm sorry. I'm trying to do
Somebody please recognize Gia. Or who, JT, can you answer the question?
Yeah, the basis of this, and I'll yield to Gia after this just for further clarification, but the basis of why Gia is trying to do this is because the Division of Student Affairs doesn't allow anybody who's not a paid member to have access to the website, if that makes sense. And so all this is saying is we're trying to change the wording of this from single designee or commission of designees because that's not allowed due to us following by the guidelines and policies of UNT employment, if that makes sense for SGA. And I'll yield to Gia just for further clarity. So can somebody second my yield to Gia to recognize Gia?
Second.
Yeah, second.
Okay, so yeah, to answer your question, last fall, this addition to the bylaws was made by the previous communications director, and the goal was that I could have made someone from comms team able to access the website. When I tried to do that, I was denied my request, and they said that only an employee could do that. So our goal here is to change the wording of the current bylaws so that it is reflective of what the DSA will actually allow, because the DSA does not allow any student to edit the website. It is only someone who is paid by the university on the executive board of SGA. So it doesn't necessarily have to be my position, because the positions do change every year. But as the communications director, this SGA president has appointed me to be the website person. And so we're changing it from single designee to paid executive officer, just to be extra clear, because there was some confusion this year with me coming into this position. So
Grant, does that answer your question?
It does, thank you.
Okay, all right. Were there any other questions? Okay, I'll need another motion.
I motion to end discussion period and move to to vote.
I second that.
Second.
We were in a period of questioning, just so you know. So we're going to a period of voting, correct? And we got a second? All right, so we'll go to a period of voting by iClicker. So go ahead and please take out your phones. I'm going to make the poll right now.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Did we fix the errors that were spoken of? Were there any errors that, like, because I know if we had to, is it all good to go? Because I remember someone said there were some errors in it. Or
Melissa, she was talking about if the article was correct.
Oh.
That's what she was asking, if that was the correct article that JT was referring to.
Thank you.
Okay, so we need to go ahead. Today's just reading, and then we'll go to a period of voting next week. Um, so since I'm getting ahead of myself, for regular meetings, since this is in summer session, we do our readings during the first meeting, and then the next meeting we will go ahead and go into voting. So the votes, so we'll go ahead and just table this right now. And if there are any other questions, make sure to go ahead and reach out to JT or Gia. And if you need to refer to legislation for any other questions, go ahead and refer to that legislation. But I'll make sure I'll bring this legislation up to vote next meeting. All right. Okay, so moving forward, now we have ad hoc committees. As I was just saying earlier, so I was kind of breaking down what ad hoc committees are. So these are committees that essentially serve a place, serve a, you know, a reason, kind of sort of. So it's something that is voted on by our Senate, a 2/3 majority vote by you all. So I don't know, for example, the COVID relief committee could be an ad hoc committee and focusing on COVID cases. So this could be something that is brought up by a senator who would like to bring this committee up, essentially, and then we would need to vote on that committee. The reason why we need them is for situations where something needs to be handled in a very quick matter. Ad hoc committees are something that we will talk about next week, so you guys can get some more gathering information of exactly what are some things that we might need on campus. But definitely, I would suggest think about if there's anything that you would like, any sort of initiatives, any sort of focuses that you would like to have, and you know, bring those questions up. Definitely sit down and we can have a conversation about those committees that you would like to bring up or that initiative, and then we can see exactly how feasible it is to have a committee that will focus on something within COVID relief. But that is essentially what ad hoc committee is. So going per the bylaws, like I was referring to earlier, so I kind of want to show you guys these. So right here in the bylaws, we have ad hoc committees and they exist to serve the purpose they were created for up until the committee members vote by 2/3 majority vote to dissolve the committee. So they essentially serve a purpose for a limited amount of time. So for example, we brought up an ad hoc committee, COVID relief, and then COVID was, we got a what's the word? What happens like when you get, like when you're sick and then they find something, I can't think of the name of it. Lord, I don't know.
Diagnosis?
Huh?
Diagnosis? No.
No, not diagnosis. Like they essentially like they figured out what it is, like how to help you. I can't think of the name.
Prognosis. Nope.
Like okay, how to help us with COVID. So like we're waiting for the vaccine, bro. What? I'm tripping. Okay, so like essentially the vaccine. So there was to be a vaccine that came in the spring. Then it's like, okay, we can get rid of the committee. We can dissolve the committee. There's also some other things within the bylaws that say if the committee isn't meeting, as well as if they're so after determining which committees will be established, this is Student Senate shall vote to approve or deny the formation of each committee by a simple majority vote. So getting approval of the committees, they can elect 3 senators through a simple majority to serve on each committee up until the end of each session. And then I saw some more information as far as if the committee isn't meeting or if it needs to be dissolved. It can be dissolved, but it has to be by a vote. But we'll get into more depth. You know, I want to save a lot of this stuff for like all member retreat so we can have enough time to talk about stuff. And I don't want to elongate like our meetings like full of just like, you know, basic SGA stuff. Like I want to leave these meetings to information that can be useful for students, or if there's any legislation or any other questions that we want to talk about. So we'll do, you know, all the nitty and gritty behind the scenes, and we'll talk about that stuff. Yes, Melissa.
I don't know when Devin messaged, but he asked to be recognized, so I was just gonna recognize him.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
I'm sorry, I do not see the chat. I haven't been seeing it.
He said never mind, so I guess you covered it.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Okay, were there any questions about that little gist that I was kind of giving? Anything? Okay. And please bear with me. Like I said, I'm still becoming more confident with everything, so I'm still trying to familiarize myself with everything. Okay. All right, going back to the agenda. So camera during meetings. So as of right now, like I've been just like going to other faculty senate meetings and staff senate meetings. It's not a big deal. Like having cameras on, like I was making a big deal when I made the agenda, but like I'm not really pressed about it. Right now, definitely, I do encourage you to have it on if you are a senator. But if you don't have it on, the one thing that I do ask you is that you just are at least interactive. And like if you have questions, please ask your questions. And if you do have a question, please come off your camera when you do ask your question. Just so I can see your beautiful face in your polo. But yeah. Okay, so now we're moving on to exec reports. So I'm just gonna go down the list. So please let me know if you have any questions. And then I believe that we do have some exec members that are on here. So if you want to direct the questions to them, go ahead and direct the questions to them. Were there any questions for the chief of staff? Nothing. No hands raised. Okay.
Hi.
Yeah, wait.
Can I be recognized?
Can Danielle be recognized? Can somebody recognize her?
I recognize Danielle.
Okay, I need a second. Okay.
Hi, everybody. I'm so glad I finally got to, get on a meeting and everything. My name is Danielle Colby. I am the chief of staff. So I just wanted to make sure that I said hello to everybody, outside of the video, but still virtually. Just quick reminders, don't forget all member retreat is going to be this Saturday from 10 to 4:30. The Zoom link will be coming out shortly for you guys and everything. And then just whenever Cameron sends you out some links that I need you guys to fill out about some to-go like pickup bags. I know you guys already got your polos and everything, but these are just like for your vouchers and for like the UNT planner that UNT gives out, just so that way you guys all make sure that you get one and everything, because we're still going to provide you with a little lunch, even though we have to eat separately in our own bedrooms. But yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that I said hello to everybody. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. You can email me at sgacos@unt.edu. But please make sure that you are on top of filling out the links whenever Cameron does send them out to you. Thank you, guys.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna move forward to Deputy Chief of Staff.
Hello, hi, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, hi y'all, my name is Peyton Jackson. I am the Deputy Chief of Staff here for UNT SGA. I'm currently in the office, so I've been working on helping Cam. I just got a new task to help Cam with appointing senators and helping him with those applications. I am trying to continue working on Voters Week, because Voters Week is next week. So we are trying to come up with events to do for that week. And also I have been getting information on people actually trying to collab with us for Voters Week as well. So I've been emailing on that. I have a meeting with for the textbook initiative. I'm trying to get discounts on textbooks, y'all. So I'm trying to see if I can do that through Barnes and Noble. So I actually am setting up a meeting with the head manager of Barnes and Noble in the union. So just to be able to see if we can get those prices reduced for students. So that's basically all I've been working on. If y'all have any questions, of course, or ideas, y'all can email me at UNTDEPCOS. And yeah, that's all I have for y'all.
All right. So any questions for Peyton? Okay. All right. Director of Human Resources. Are there any questions for Evan? No. Okay. Student Allocation Director. Was there any questions Okay. Kind of give you guys a little update of like I guess what's going on with SGA with Eagles Nest. So we are gonna go ahead and move forward with having Eagles Nest as a committee and as a fully functional program with under us. So it's going to really determine under exactly what is things that can be purchased. So we will be coming out with more information as far as applying for the committee, as well as our policies that we will be having since of COVID. Because of virtual, you can do virtual events. We do want to offer students that access to apply for that money, but we will end up having some restrictions of exactly what the money can go towards, and as well as in-person events, of course, following behind the university. But that's just a little bit of an update of where we're at. We've been juggling and playing around. When we did have Geo, she was doing some organizing of our emails and everything else. But we really were pretty much up in the air as far as like, okay, so what is going on with events? And then of course, we've had a couple meetings with our advisor and then senior staff to kind of like decide how it will look. So soon to be, we will be coming out with applications. We just need to get Paige all set up and ready to go. Yes, Alyssa.
So you said restrictions like what specific?
So as of right now, we don't have specifically, so for example, food. So like if somebody was to submit a Verde order, I mean, we're not going to pay for a Verde order because no events can be in person. And so Verde obviously generally caters to events. And so that would be something like a restriction. Now, exactly, I don't know how the wording will look of those restrictions, but I do know that we will have to come to Senate to go ahead and present those to you all to just to have our policies of what it looks like, and we will have them on our social media too, just to let people know. I mean, general like things are like purchasing like trophies, for example. That's a general thing that isn't generally allowed from Eagles Nest. So like those kind of policies that are already like policies, but we want to make sure that there will be like some other things added on there just in case you may assume, oh, I can apply and gather this money for such and such and such and such. We're really trying to kind of decide how to explain and make sure like, like we're really like on a, okay, like how do we explain this for students and organizations that we do have this money, but hey, like it can be only for certain things because of the restrictions that we do have from the university, because of the restrictions that we do have for non-in-person events. So it's only focusing on virtual things. So like a backdrop would be something that you can purchase. I don't know, like pins, like for your organization. So like if you want to like pass out like pins, I mean like these like I don't believe plans is something that you can purchase, but like something like that would be something. We're just still trying to like iron out all those like details of what are things that we can purchase, because we do want to give ideas of what you can purchase and what you can't purchase, because we do have to follow behind student activities.
I would say, is there a way like for let's just say like the current list, how you said there's like you can't buy trophies, but in a virtual set now, like some of the things that we would say we can't do, can we try to convince them to be like, well, we're kind of virtual, so it's like doing food vouchers instead of actually buying food,
Oh, of
or
course.
like, hey, maybe you want to send your members like goodie boxes of candy,
Yeah.
like things like that. Like we will like, is there in the discussion of those things? Because like as like some background of why I'm asking is because I'm an exec for the National Society of Black Engineers, and we're kind of just stuck on like how we're gonna
Yeah.
run things.
No, like, no, I definitely understand. And like Danielle, like I'm gonna give kudos to her. Like she came up with the idea of the go bags for SGA. And so like when we had that idea, it was like, okay, this is something that actually organizations I could see everybody doing. Like, kind of giving them ideas of like go bags could be something that you're giving like for your members, like to go ahead and pass out for the paid members for your organization, for example. But we do want to give examples, and we do want to also like probably do like even video presentations. Of course, we're going to expand on our Eagles Nest, our resource presentation that we have on YouTube, and make sure that it, of course, is all inclusive, and it's explaining even things that are going on right now, because that the last video that we have is from John Carr, I believe. Okay, if there aren't any other questions for Eagles Nest, I did see, was there another hand? Grant had a hand.
Yes, I'd like a motion to recognize Devin.
Yes. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. I just had a quick question. I've actually served on the Eagles Nest committee before, and I know that there's lots of money that goes into it. It's something like $30,000. I think that might be semesterly, if I recall correctly. So is there concern that there's going to be a significant amount of money left over by the end of the semester? And if so, is there a plan on how to address that situation?
Yeah, so we have thought about as far as the leftover money. So I believe the budget's like 50, is it 25? Is it, I think it's 20, I have to look at the budget sheet. But we have kind of actually, can somebody recognize Michael? Because I think he has a little more information for it.
Motion to recognize Michael.
Is there a second? Okay, Michael, you can go ahead.
Okay, so yes, with the budget, we had definitely thought that there will be a lot of leftover money, just considering that a lot of student organizations will probably just be doing more Zoom meetings and won't necessarily need the money. Not saying that organizations can't apply for it and get it, but we have thought about, like, with the leftover money, using that to say donate to, like, we would say, like, the food pantry, or we could use some of that money to donate to the Student Success Fund, or to like different things on campus. It would obviously have to go through y'all as well. But that's kind of like what we were planning to do if we had any leftover money, that we would just donate it to different organizations and causes on campus.
All right, Casey, I saw your hand was up. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I was just going to ask about either leftover money, or if the idea of loosening other restrictions while adding, in-person restrictions for the money, like you said, catering, to use those funds. But no, that answered my question right there.
Okay, sounds good. All right. If there are any other questions for Eagles Nest, Director of Diversity and Inclusion, are there any questions for Tommy? Okay. Yes, Grant.
I was fortunate enough to be able to be present during the summer Senate to hear some of his qualifications, and I just want to know, does he have anything in the works as is? I know it's pretty hectic and probably pretty crazy right now to be doing anything. I just want to know if he had anything in the works or big plans.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to speak, but I'm actually here. So
somebody recognize Tommy before he starts speaking.
I recognize Tommy.
Okay. Can I get a second, please? Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. So basically, I have been actually working on this diversity and inclusion advisory board, which President Neal has been creating for people. And what I do is I work with the police subcommittee, basically to look at police procedures in regard to, issues that affect students of color. So I'm working right now with Debbie Rower, who works in the Office of Neal, as well as Dylan Smith, who's BSU president, Gilbert Gerst, who's president of the Black Alumni Network, and Chandra Carey, who is academic dean of, I believe, the College of HPS. And basically, we actually have a meeting with Chief Reynolds next week to see what that will, what his reaction to our meeting that we had last week was like. They actually just released a new I guess, statement that they're going to have a police advisory board for the first time, starting effective the 1st of September, actually. And then I'm also working with Dite on the SGA ambassador program. So I'm looking forward to that, and we should have more updates about that program soon.
Thank you. That's a lot of good stuff. I just want to. It was just great. No worries. I mean, it's just great stuff. I'm glad that we're moving forward with some of that stuff.
Are there any more questions for Tommy? All right. Our outreach director, any questions for Dite? Nope. All right. Any questions for Yasmin, intern program director?
If there are no questions, can I recognize to speak?
Yes, we can recognize you. I don't think there's any questions.
Yasmin. Motion to recognize Yasmin.
I second.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So just to let you know, next week on the 17th, you will be paired with your interns that are going to be shadowing you for the rest of the year. So I just want to make you all aware of that. Yeah, it's nothing too serious. They're just going to follow you to your committees, wherever your committees are, wherever you get picked to be, whatever committee you are picked to be in. So yeah, just little heads up on that.
Okay. Yes, David.
How many interns do we have? Or I know, is there a set number, right?
We have 15 this year.
Okay.
Okay. If you could, when you are motioning, go ahead and say your name first, so David can write it down, because I think we were missing some people. David was mentioning in the chat who was seconding or who was motioning in the first place. Alyssa, you had a question?
Yes. So for the housing for Senate interns, are they are they specific to which colleges, like per group of senators, or you just everybody gets one?
Yeah, I should have said that first. Yes, you will be paired based on your college. Yes, I'm gonna try to do one intern per one senator, but I know that there's some college shortages. And obviously there's going to be some senators who don't have interns based on, just if you don't have a lot of people in your college, because it's only 15. So yeah, it's going to be based on your college.
Just
but
curious.
If you don't have one, then you'd like one. So I mean, we'll see by the end. But if there's like doubles and you don't have one and you want one, then I can definitely give that person to you. There's no big deal. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. What are you saying?
I was like, just curiosity, which colleges has interns? Can you say?
Some are class, some are business. I haven't gotten all of their actual colleges yet. My mistake, which I'll do tomorrow during our meeting. But it's a range, I believe. There's education. There's a range.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Were there any other questions, Melissa?
Hey, okay, so we're getting our interns and we're getting paired based on our college. So just so they can kind of get to know us, are we gonna have a time where we can like sit down and talk to them, maybe like get on Zoom or maybe have a meeting on here? Is that something that you've looked into kind of facilitating, or is it just gonna kind of be like, oh, well, here are your interns, here's your senator, you're going to that committee, like how is
Oh yeah. So definitely that can be. I didn't specifically set a time because I'm not in charge of the Senate. I definitely could talk to Cam about allotting time for y'all to get to know each other. But my thing with Senate shadowing specifically was really just to shadow. They already kind of have mentors, but y'all can definitely go beyond that. I'm not restricting that in the slightest. But just my concern was kind of more just like watching how the Senate presides, and then if they had feedback, if they had things they want to say, they're constitutionally allowed to have that. So yeah, if me and Cam can definitely talk about some time to be allotted for that. If that is something that y'all want, I'm totally okay with that. I have no restraints or anything like that. So yeah, that can definitely be a thing. But my initial thought was just kind of watching how the Senate presides.
Okay, yeah, because I just want them to be able to not only look at us as senators, but, not be so timid if they have questions, just so they can understand who we are. So it's kind of more personal.
Yeah, 100%. The whole reason I want to do it was so they can like being able to co-sign legislation was easier and having better access to the Senate, because when I was an intern, we didn't really have that good of a relationship with the Senate. So yeah, that's completely fine with me.
Okay. Paola, did you have a question?
Just a trivial question. So my interns were a little bit confused about when the meetings were and when the retreat was. I was just wondering, Yasmin, like what were you emailing them or messaging them through Teams so I can tell them what to check?
Yeah, it's Teams, through Teams. I definitely have told them many times to please check Teams, but
Yeah.
freshmen.
Okay.
Yeah, so Teams.
Okay, thank you. I'll let them know.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. If there's no more questions for Yasmin, are there any questions for Gia, Communications Director? Nope. Okay. Are there any questions for Michael? All right. Are there any questions for myself? Anything going on? Okay. So I did forget Bill is here to present from Transportation Services. So I did let you guys know through Teams that I forgot to add him. So he emailed me actually a week before the meeting to ask to come to the meeting, and he confirmed a little after I submitted the agenda. So he is here to speak about the transportation fee increase. The presentation, I don't think it should be no more than like 10 to 15 minutes. Bill, are you still here? I think he joined. Okay. Well, I guess he must have not joined then. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and email him and see if he can come to the next meeting. But as far as announcements, so Senate meeting updates. For Senate meetings, pretty much what I wanted to update you guys on is that I talked a little bit last week about some meetings we might not have meetings every week. And so this was a week that I almost thought we weren't going to have a meeting, but we did get some legislation towards the end of last week. And then, there's a couple pieces of things that I did put on the agenda, but that's about it. So if there are any certain situations where I don't have anything that comes through by Monday morning, then I will be emailing you all out an email just letting you know that there won't be a Senate meeting that week, just because within certain times, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. And then if there's nothing to really discuss, then we don't really need to meet. But if we do have objections about that, we can talk about that. Presentations. So for presentations, I just pretty much, that was for Bill to come speak. I thought he was going to be here, but if there aren't any other announcements, if there are, please let me know. Oh, Melissa?
Okay, I'm so sorry. Are we going to be doing college reports like we did last year, or like what?
Yeah, so we can do college reports again still. I've just really been trying to get everybody just like acclimated, used to how Senate's working. So then at retreat, we can just talk about those nitty gritty things of like, what to know, some things that we want to have going on. But I wasn't aware of college reports, so please let me know how that worked.
Yeah, I'll email you.
Okay. Yeah, we can discuss about that. Like I said, I didn't go through that much of a transition, so I didn't get that much information prior to what was going on in the past administration. So if there are some things that you guys did like, I know from Tara, Melissa, Alyssa, like you guys were here last year, so just let me know if there were some things that did work and some things that didn't work, because I definitely will take the feedback. Are there any other announcements?
Hello, Cameron. This is Bill. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Hey, Bill.
I am so sorry. I I thought I was unmuted, but apparently I wasn't. I apologize for that. So, did I miss my opportunity?
Oh, no, we were actually just by presentation, and I just asked for you, and I didn't know if you were here. So you can go ahead if you would like to, or if you want to meet next week. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, I just wanted to, by the way, thank you for letting me attend the meeting.
Yeah, of course.
I appreciate that very much. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the new Senior Director for Parking and Transportation. I joined UNT about 6 months ago, right as COVID was hitting. So anyway, my purpose for coming to your meeting tonight was I just wanted to verify, first of all, that SGA had approved the transportation fee increase initiative to go forward to a vote to the student body later this fall when the vote happens. And then to answer any questions you guys might have, if you had any questions regarding the transportation fee initiative. You may recall that we had presented to your group in March, right before spring break, but because of COVID, we weren't able to move forward with a spring vote. So we were hoping to move forward with a fall vote now that school is back in session. And I believe that SGA had to approve the initiative again to go forward to vote for this fall. You may recall the initiative is to increase the transportation fee per credit hour from $3.50, what it currently is, to $6 per credit hour moving forward. And if the vote passed, it would take effect 1 year later. So if it passed this fall, it would take effect in fall of 2021. So with that, I just wanted to ask if there were any questions or if the SGA had approved it to go forward to a vote to the student body. I know that GSC, the Graduate Student Council, also has to approve it before it can go on the ballot, but I just wanted to confirm if SGA had.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do real quick, so Bill, we were waiting on GSC to confirm that the corrections that they wanted to make were the correct corrections. So we haven't waited, we haven't heard back exactly what the corrections were, but I was gonna bring it up on the screen because we can just go ahead and amend it. And then they can go ahead and ask the questions if they need to ask any questions right now.
Okay.
We can table it. If you all would like to table it, we can go ahead and table that bill for the next meeting.
That's fine.
Okay, so I saw Alyssa's hand, and then I believe Casey and Grant. I don't remember the order, but David, did you get the order of what those hands were?
I sadly did not.
Okay, I saw Alyssa first, so go ahead.
I was first.
Yes.
Okay, so I got a couple questions. One, I know this is kind of a little bit off topic. Are you, is parking considering actually adding a Discovery Park Pass back due to COVID? So,
I'm sorry, adding a Discovery Park Pass, did you say?
Pass. Yes, so at Discovery Park, there's a lot of students who just go to Discovery Park. They don't go to main campus ever. And just due to COVID and everything, having a pass is kind of very expensive and very counterintuitive. And I was wondering if they're ever going to add the Discovery Park Pass that they did back when I was a freshman, because they took it away.
Okay, well, I have to apologize. I'm not familiar with the history of Discovery Park Pass. I know that we do sell parking permits that are honored at Discovery Park, like an Eagle parking or resident parking, or there's even resident reserve parking out there. So if a student can buy a pass and they can park out there and never come to the main campus, and they can still park there. But it's not called a Discovery Park Pass. But I'll tell you what I will do. I will look into that, and I'll get the history of it and why it was instituted, and then why it was deactivated, and then I'll get back to you guys on an answer for that.
Yes, and also too, my second question is, I know you wasn't here for this bill, but I was about to table a bill on adding cameras to the buses. What are what are some things are you guys taking initiative for COVID to make sure people are actually social distancing on the bus to make sure that that everything is going smoothly?
Okay, DCTA, Denton County Transit Authority, is our service provider for the shuttles. They have a lot of protocols in place regarding passenger safety. The buses are sanitized daily, and each night they get a special cleaning where they're fogged, they're encapsulated, they're closed off and fogged, so it's completely sanitized on the inside. The drivers wear masks. The drivers also have screens around them. It's kind of like a plastic shower curtain sort of thing that they pull around them. They do have masks, disposable masks, available for any passenger who gets on that doesn't have one. And although masks are required to be on the shuttle, whether you bring your own or you get a disposable one. I will say that the drivers are not forcing students to sit 6 feet apart if the numbers on the bus just don't allow it. But what they are doing is encouraging people to sit spaced apart while on the bus, as long as there's room to do so. Does that answer your question?
Okay. Yes, that did. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Casey?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Bill.
I'm sorry. You may have noticed we've also got the social distancing signs and the foot mats at our bus stops as well to help with social distancing there before you get on the bus.
Okay. Casey?
I just wanted to clarify. You said it was going to be it used to be a $3.50 fee per hour, and then it's being proposed at a $6 per hour increase.
Yes, the transportation fee is currently $3.50 per credit hour. It has remained at $3.50 since its inception in 2004. It's never been raised. So we're proposing a $2.50 increase to $6 an hour going forward, starting in fall of 21, should the vote pass.
Okay. And I wasn't around for the original proposal, so I was just curious on, I think it's a 58% increase or something like that. What does that consist of from, the previous fee we have now? What do y'all plan to do with the extra funding?
We're hoping to do a number of things. We're hoping to expand our service time on some of our current routes, and we're hoping to create additional routes or add additional buses to current routes that have a very high ridership on there, and so we can decrease the time between buses. We're hoping to do things like that. We're hoping to put some better technology on the buses. The buses are old. For those of you who've been on them, they work, but they're old, and we hope to put some new technology on there. We would like to look at putting Wi-Fi on the buses. We would like to look at even getting some new buses down the road, maybe some electric buses that have a better, cleaner, greener footprint than the current diesel buses do. And things like that, some more management technology, some GPS tracking, better app, better tracking, do some different things at the transit stations with screens for tracking when the next bus will arrive, things like that. Of course, our idea would be to go to the student body with some ideas we have and get your feedback on them, and also ask for your input on things you would like to see with an enhanced shuttle system.
And may I have one more question?
Yes.
I think you kind of mentioned it a little bit. I'm not sure if it. Did you say that you were thinking, or y'all have the idea of adding more routes to the current bus system?
Yes. Based on student feedback and what we're seeing for what students want, and as they build additional off-campus housing complexes, we would need to either add new routes or expand existing routes to service those off-campus housing areas. So yes, expanding our routes as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. In grants.
Okay, so real quick, Bill, I just want to say before I was just from reading this, I mean, obviously 2004 to 2020, there's obviously some difference in paying and probably some better income, but just hitting the pandemic right now, students are kind of struggling working jobs if they even have jobs at the beginning. So I'm just worried that this may have come at a bad time, but you said it won't go into effect until the following school year, correct? The 2021, 2022?
That is correct. If it was voted on and passed this fall, then it would take effect the following fall semester, the next year.
And then obviously, I do like where y'all are heading with these ideas on terms of better technology, longer routes, and the possibility of sometime down the line better buses. Because I have ridden the buses. I ride the Colorado Express a lot, and they are old. But I'm glad I do see just hitting the high points of y'all's keeping y'all's sanitary and keeping it as best as you can do with the public transportation. But my question is actually for my fellow senators. I would like to move that we table this bill and move it to a further discussion for later on, just because I believe I want to do some more research on it. I don't know if y'all want to, just before we decide anything, and move to a vote of voting on it. So I move to table this bill.
I second that motion.
Okay. Yeah, we'll table this for our meeting on the 16th of this month. And Bill, if you're free to come to that meeting, if you want to answer some more questions, please come. It'll still be that same link that I emailed to you.
Thank you very much. I will be happy to. Thank you for your time.
We'll see you soon then. All right.
Thank you.
Did someone want to recognize Devin?
I recognize him.
Is there a second?
That's Alyssa. Yeah, I second.
Okay.
I think it has to be someone else.
Yes.
Can be.
I wasn't recognizing him. I was asking, did somebody want to recognize him?
But for the second, I'll second that then.
Thank you.
So I just want to understand the situation real quick, and I just want to start off by saying that the transportation fee increase is something I've consistently supported. I believe it's necessary for the student body as a whole. I did have a quick question. For this referendum to go live in the next election in this fall, we are submitting a new bill for that, correct?
Yes. So
Okay.
yeah, the one that I'm showing you all. So there are some highlighted pieces on here that we haven't amended yet. So that was the reason why. So Bill, he was coming to come speak, and I thought he was presenting something. I didn't know if he was going to talk about the bill yet, but I was going to show you guys. I didn't know he was going to bring it up to vote right now. We weren't going to vote on it right now though.
So this is not going, and just so I'm clear, this is not just going to be an amendment on the bill because the bill did pass. This is going to be a new bill, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Since, of course, like spring 20, we're in fall 20.
Yeah.
I know the one question that GSC had was that 15 credit hours. So we're going to meet again and talk about that. And then, of course, the Yoleon's name on here because Yoleon is no longer the president anymore. So those would be the two things that will change on there. But it'll be in one, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Were there any other discussion points or questions about this? Oh, Lord.
Cameron,
Yes.
can we get more information about the details of this new proposal sent to us prior, so we have time to process everything?
Yes, of course. It's my apologies. So essentially, the transportation fee increase, like Bill was saying, is going to be implemented next fall. And so, like he was saying, so it hasn't been increased since 2004, but it's a need for it to be increased. So they kind of explained to us, we met like early, like maybe in August, but we were having issues we weren't having issues, but we hadn't made our meetings with GSC yet. So we were waiting to meet with them to discuss as well. But pretty much, they haven't been updated. I mean, that was like the biggest thing. And I mean, if anyone's rode the buses before, they've seen that they're a little older, that, you know, there are some new updates that can come, but also the comparison with the other universities. So there's actually universities that are like charging like $60 a credit hour, you know, for transportation services. And so where we're at $6 an hour, you know, we might get to that point, but you know, there was just a lot of comparisons with other universities in the area that have like expanded so much to the point where they're like very high class. But yes, I'll make sure to, you know, update you all prior to with information. Were there any questions? Any more questions? Okay. All right. So if are there any more announcements?
I will try to get the meeting minutes done by tomorrow.
Okay. Just so you all know, David did put those meeting minutes in the Teams group chat. So you can see those minutes in there if you do want to review them. But of course, I will email them to you all. My apologies as far as the correspondence for Bill coming to our meeting in this bill. I'll make sure to go ahead and update you all very prior to for information in the future. Okay, well, if there's no more questions or announcements, I'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 6:46 p.m. So thank you guys for coming, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday. All right, have a good evening, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.